Welcome back. You're tuned into Bazaar Morning Call here on CNBC-TV18. As promised, let's get some fundamental analysis going. Ambareesh Baliga, independent market expert, joins us on the show. Hi, Ambareesh. Good morning and good to see you win. Well, what's your view on Titan? You know, the stock was weak in Friday's trading session. It seems the street was sniffing that maybe they're going to come out with a weak operational update. And that is the case. But what do you do with the stock if it pulls back a little bit? You know, their growth is lower in comparison to a peer like Kalyan Jewellers, which has grown quite well. Even their mix is not very, very favorable. But a quality franchise, if it dips, what do you do?
I think the best is behind Titan. Because if you go back in the last possibly 2 decades, you can easily say that the first 15 years of the last 2 decades, they had the first mover advantage. They were the only ones which were the national players. But then you see in the last 5 years what's happened. There are so many regional and smaller players who have actually become national players. They come out with their IPOs. They've expanded in a major way. So clearly, there is a decent amount of competition in that space, which was not there earlier for Titan. So looking at that, I think the best is behind them, but it doesn't mean that they will start underperforming in a major way. But the sort of a move which we have seen in the past so many years, I don't think we'll see a similar sort of a move going ahead. So my suggestion would be, if there's any sort of a decent bounce back in Titan, I think it's time to lighten.
Okay, time to lighten your positions in Titan. Got that. I also wanted your thoughts on Nykaa, because over there, the beauty business is doing very well. It continues to chug along, but the fashion business is under pressure. What do you do with the stock now?
Good morning, Sonia. I think as far as Nykaa is concerned, I think any sort of an upside should be utilized to book out, because even if we are saying that one part of the business is doing decently well, but where is it showing in the bottom line? Because bottom line, although it's positive, but it's still very disappointing, because sort of a promise which they showed when they came out with an IPO as the only or among the very few showing a positive bottom line, but then it has to grow, and that's not really happening. So, Nykaa, again, I'll not have in my portfolio, but if it's there, I would utilize any upside to exit.
Ambareesh, hi, morning. Bajaj Auto, Ambareesh, that CNG bike launch, we got all the details, etc. with the opportunity to, of course, interact with Rajiv Bajaj. Will play out a snippet a little later. But your thoughts on the stock from here?
This stock, it's not just because of the CNG launch. Overall, we've been seeing that the sales are doing decently well. And I think this CNG launch, which is unique in that space, I think will be some sort of a catalyst for the stock. So I think, one should continue to hold on to this, because overall, I'm decently positive on two-wheelers. And I think this development is clearly positive for Bajaj Auto. So just hold on for the time being.
Okay, all right. Ambareesh, I wanted to ask you about actually Tata Steel, because they've come out with their operational update. And no worries on that front. However, in the UK, there has been a change of government. And now the new government's sound bites are now sounding very, very favorable with regard to the terms that were agreed by the old government. If there is any change, that could be perceived negative. In fact, I'm looking at a note coming from Investec, and they're saying because of this entire transition from UK as well as the Netherlands operations towards green steel, it'll come at a big price, which will, put a lot of pressure on the balance sheet. And it could cause the India operations to support that. That's the broad gist of the note. What do you do with the stock at around 175? Till now, the stock has ignored any kind of bad news.
No, that's true. But then a change of government and possibly change of policy, I think, will be the biggest risk for Tata Steel. And we have seen that the UK operations has been a gauntlet around its neck for a very, very long time. And that's not going to change too soon. So I think we'll have to keep a close watch. But because of this development, the political change in UK, I think that will clearly have a pressure on the stock. So I really don't see too much of an upside. Earlier we had a price target of about 210. But looking at the change scenario, I would possibly utilize any sort of an upside to levels of, say, about 185, 190 to book out.
Okay, welcome back. So we've got the market, which is going to kick off. The pre-open at least will kick off in a bit from now. and we'll kind of pick up on some of this stuff. Ambareesh, over the last couple of weeks we've chatted. You've liked things like Bayer Crop, you've liked things like PG Electroplast, Bata, Action Construction. Stocks are flying. I mean, right? I mean, one is, from the time that you think you start to work on it, and from till the time that you get to actually doing something about it, usually prices are much higher. What are you liking from this list, or any new ideas that you have on your mind and you've already bought?
No, frankly, Prashant, nowadays, whatever you recommend, it flies. So you really can't take the full benefit of that because the markets are such. But among the stocks which you just mentioned, Bata is still on my major buy list. Again, I mean, that's not really moved too much from the levels I recommended. I mean, I had a price target of about 1,900. And looking at the way consumption is going to improve from here on, I mean, we are already seeing FMCG pack showing better numbers than expected. So I think overall consumption is going to move up. Looking again at, the sort of monsoons which we are witnessing, I think that's going to improve even the rural consumption. So among the stocks which I had suggested earlier, I think Bata is still a buy with a price target of 1,900.
Okay, Bata is a buy. But just to reiterate, right, today you have a lot of numbers that have come out. There's Titan, there's Marico, there's Dabur. Between all of them, you wouldn't pick any stocks to buy for the longer term?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, FMCG is one segment where I see extremely good performance coming, or at least over the next couple of quarters. Clearly, Marico and Dabur are clearly on my buy list.
Okay, Marico and Dabur are on the buy list. Got that. Mitesh Thakkar and Sudarshan Sukhani join us now this morning. Mitesh, Sudarshan, good morning.